What? All right, bear with me 1 second, Israel. Yeah, boss. Speakers. Okay, that's what I'm just making sure. Just making sure. Have a some yard or somebody under you do that.
Okay.
All right. Hosanna Christ. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. Yahweh Shema Thumb Bashim Yahweh Shah. I am priest and officer of 5,000 Yedaya. I'm holding it down till 12 Shield General Mahayaman gets here. General Mahayaman to be in the building. If you have any questions, you know what I mean, online or in the room, General Mahayaman to be here shortly. Understand something, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. Now is the time for our people to come out the world and realize, man, that we got to come back to our God, come back to what our King wants us to do, come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. What's going on right now in the world right now, it's crazy. Like I know it's lucky where you got to unplug it. Yeah, plug the power cord away. Now, I know everybody is, saw what happened with that brother. His name might be Jonathan Majors. Got caught up, with the she-devil, and they found him guilty, even though the video showed the brother was running, for his life. He got his phone back from the she-devil, and she was chasing him all throughout New York, all throughout Brooklyn. Did you know, according to God, that guess what? Shalom, Malaki, low Christ. Did you know that interracial marriage is against God?
Deuteronomy 73. Neither shall they make marriage with them.
Neither shalt thou what? Read it again from the top.
Neither shall they make marriage with them.
It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Meaning our God is telling us that we are not supposed to make marriages with them. Who's the them? These other nations. You ain't supposed to go out there and get Becky. You ain't supposed to go out there. You ain't supposed to go out there and get Susan or get some African broad or some, Arab broad or some East Indian broad. You ain't supposed to do that. Our God said, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. We ain't supposed to marry them. And guess what? Sex is marriage according to God.
Right.
When you lay down with a sister, man, that is marriage. And sister, when you lay down with a brother, that's your husband. Shalom, warrior, Lord of Christ. You get some of that. Wow. Understand that. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Keep going.
Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son.
Thy daughters shalt thou not give unto his son. Meaning, we ain't supposed to give our daughters to these heathens. We not. Your daughter is supposed to marry your brother. She ain't supposed to be looking at Bill and Bob and Fred. She ain't supposed to be doing that. And it's a damn shame too, man. That's not what we're supposed to do. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not. You couldn't have went and got Mathamyah. You couldn't have went and got Nathanyala. You couldn't have got Ibad Hayah. You got to go get the oppressor. And that's a narrative that they say, and it's such a lie, Mathamyah. Where they say, I heard one sister say, just know when I start dating the oppressor, I'm tired of you colors. And that sister, man, that made that comment, she was unalived by her oppressive boyfriend after the first date. I said, God damn, at least a brother, a Goshen. I mean, a brother tell you, baby, it ain't gonna work out. You know what I mean? Shalom. That means peace. Like, God damn, the oppressor is gonna hit you upside the head, unalive you, and bury you in the goddamn forest. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou shalt not give unto his son. Keep reading.
nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy son.
Now, this is the other one. Nor his daughter shalt thou not take unto his son. Guess what? You ain't supposed to marry the oppressor's daughter. That's Jonathan Major's first mistake. You thinking you can go ahead and marry the heathens. You think you can go ahead and do that. I know a lot of you brothers, they got a little movement now at Bahaya called the passport verbs. Let me tell you what's said about that. You got a group of brothers out here that are tired of modern, and I'm gonna explain something to some of you brothers. Some of you brothers need to hear this. Because I've been seeing this a little too often on my timeline. And I just want to explain something to every brother. Y'all need to stop the narrative of, oh, these sisters over here are westernized. Their minds have been westernized and polluted. Let me explain something to you, Rob. Eve is Eve. Eve is Eve. From Judah down to Issachar. Ask Nathaniah. Is Eve not Eve? You know, you got some passport brothers out here that go out there to get tired of Eve, and then you go to the Oriental countries. You go into Thailand. You are a brother, and you talk about, oh, but they're going to Israelite countries. You're not going over there to build them sisters up. You're going over there to be a whoremonger. And our God said there should not be a whore or a whoremonger of the children of Israel. So check yourself about that. You're not going over there to build sisters up. You're going over there to fulfill your lust because you ain't got no game and you're afraid to talk to sisters over here. Like, goddamn, Nabat. It ain't sisters in your zone. It ain't sisters in North Philly. It ain't sisters in West Philly. It ain't sisters in Trenton, New Jersey. Let me tell you something. Captain Shock's at the realest shit. Not second. I drink too. You can't find it. Listen, you go outside and talk to this. Go outside and touch grass. Shout out to Officer Bun. Go outside and touch grass. Talk to the sisters on your block. It ain't work out, go to the next block. Go to the next city. Dang, is that hard? It's not. But you'd rather go get an expedited passport and go get a heathen woman. You'd rather go get a heathen woman or make a whore out of your sister. Either or is wicked. And we got to stop that nonsense. Understand that. That's why our God said, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. We ain't supposed to give our sons to their daughter. Look at Jonathan Makers. He ain't the only brother. Like Nabai, you remember OJ? Man, Jews still out here getting loose. They don't know. Some of y'all don't know about that. They too young for that, Nabai. The juice is still loose. I saw him in Vegas. That brother don't never learn. Some of you brothers don't learn. Man, it was this one brother in Miami, I forget his name, we did the story, man. He got into an argument with his she-devil wife, and she stabbed him to death. Stabbed him to death. Tragic. Better go get a sister. A sister will argue with you. That's one thing Eve gonna do. I don't know why some of y'all think you're going over there to South America, Puerto Rico, or Cuba and thinking Eve ain't gonna argue with you. Eve is always gonna be Eve. You gotta deal with it. Like at least a sister, you know what I mean, and get with you. You can work that out. You cross a heathen, good night. It could be your life. That's why our God told us, man, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not take unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. The moral of the story, interracial marriage is against God. It always has been. Always has been. And we got to cut that garbage out, man. Right. We got to cut it out. Go get a sister. We got 12 different flavors, man. From Judah down to Issachar. Now, you got to stop the narrative, you know what I mean? It ain't no sisters out here. No sisters, and ain't no brothers out here because we right here. We right here. I pray you understand. We right here in the UPK. Now let me show you why. Read verse 4.
They will, they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will turn away thy son from following me. Man, you get caught up in that interracial marriage, and guess what? Oh, it was a Hamite that got stabbed, Mosiah and Christ. But it's a lot of the water Barack. Understand. Stories like that happen all the time where brothers get caught up. Jonathan Major's getting ready to do some time. Getting caught up messing with these heathens. Understand, you get with them, they're going to turn you away from following the Most High. Who did this happen to? It happened to Solomon. It happened to Solomon, marrying them heathen women, and it turned them against the Most High. Now you'll find yourself in the Christian church. You'll find yourself in the Muslim mosques. You'll find, listen, good night, my thumb y'all. Like your mind will be taken away from the Most High, and now you become her pet. You become the pet of those heathens, man. That's why our God said you ain't supposed to get with them. You're supposed to get with a sister and your brother. Brother, you're supposed to get with a sister. Keep going.
Come. They may serve other gods.
Mm-hmm.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you?
Listen, because of that, I'm too wild about it. Because of that, the anger of the Lord has been kindled against us. That's why we ain't supposed to get with them. Our God is disgusted by interracial marriage, man. Disgusted by it. That's why we can't get caught up in it. You can't. You see what's going on with Jonathan Major. It's like he got dropped from Marvel, getting ready to lose everything. And it's something that Captain Cesario said that was heavy. It don't matter if you right in the situation. You think they're gonna believe you over that she-devil? The point is, don't get with that she-devil. And if you're a sister, don't get with the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Some of you brothers don't realize the white woman is the devil too. Like, am I saying something that's taboo, the white woman is also the devil that the Bible speaks of. Keep going.
Come. And destroy these suddenly.
And destroy these suddenly, man. And destroy these suddenly. Like, how many lives, get ruined because you make the wrong decision? I remember with Samson went through the same thing. And the first thing his parents said, Samson's father and mother was like, is there never a daughter of the children of our people? Like, I felt that shit in my spirit in the Bible. I was like, damn, my son can't bring home Becky or Susan. He can't do that. My daughter can't bring home Bill or Bob. He ain't gonna be my son or daughter no more. Like, take that shit outside. Lock it. You ain't being brought up like that. Keep going.
Verse 5. But thou shall ye deal with them, ye shall destroy their altars.
Listen, well, how are we supposed to deal with them? Read it again.
But thou shall ye deal with them, ye shall destroy their altars.
Listen, we supposed to destroy their altars. Meaning this, we supposed to cast out their gods. We ain't supposed to be caught up. It's a story, man. It's a story about the Pope. You know, the Pope just said that he about to bless same-sex marriage, and you still want to be a Catholic? You still want to be in the Catholic Church? And God said that homosexuality was an abomination, man. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? I'll tell you, it was the oppressor. Right. You're supposed to cast the Pope out. You're supposed to cast Caesar Borgia out. You're supposed to cast Muhammad out. Man, you remember the class I recently did, the Arabs was up in arms because we brought up Aisha. The Arabs don't like to talk about that shit in the Bible. Muhammad, was a pedophile. Right. And he abused that young girl, Malakia. She was 5 years old. And Ishmael in the comment section was like, she was 5, but she was 9 when he married her. I'm like, what? Like, brother. Excuse me, Salakia. Now heathen, now Ishmael, now Ishmael. That's why God did not choose you, because you sick. And they ain't the only ones that's sick. The so-called Jew is sick too. You know how many rabbis give them little kids herpes in their synagogues? Now ask yourself a question. What is a priest? What is your rabbi doing with herpes, Nathaniel? What is he doing with herpes if he's a man of God? He's not a man of God. You know who's a man of God? Nathaniel is a man of God. Farkazar Karab is a man of God. Nathaniel is a man of God. Ibaya is a man of God. And Malakia is a man of God. Real men of God are in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge under commanding General Yohanna. So for you sisters out there that's talking about you want a godly man, you want a godly man, and you want a man of the Lord, let's better come in the UK, to the UPK, and get one of these brothers. You know, I mean, we got schools in all your different zones. I was looking at some sisters in the church. I think it was some church over there in the UK, Nathaniel, and it was like 100 sodomites in there. Men, 100 sodomites that was men in there prancing and dancing, and the sisters looking like, God damn. You know what they need? They need Shamgar. They need my brother Raal Bomb. I mean, they need Captain Karafi. They need you, Quadazai. That's who they need. That's who they need to talk to. You in there with full-blown sodomites. And it's your fault because you approve that behavior. And our God disapproves of that. Keep going.
And break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. That's
what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get rid of that garbage. Throw Caesar Bougere out the door. One of the few acts of joy that I had. I'll never forget the thing, y'all. I was a zealous trooper. And I came to my father's house one day and I saw that picture of Caesar Bougere that my grandma had. I took such delight opening that window and throwing that shit in the garbage. It's a lot. I was smiling ear to ear. That's what we're supposed to do. Why? Keep reading.
Verse 6. There are a holy people.
For thou art a what?
They are a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
We are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. A holy people. Holy meaning separate. Holy meaning set apart. It's not your pastor or your imam with a white robe and gown on. Holy means to be separate. Read.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
He chose us to be a special people unto himself. Knowing that we're a special people, you know what we won't do? I won't even consider Becky or Susan. Like, what do you look like? Why would I pick one of them over my sister? Why would I go get some African and some Arab? That's y'all problem. You know what I mean? That's their problem, Quadazai. You think you ready to give up on sis. You getting ready to give up on sis and get an expedited passport and go get it's a lot. The thing out. They about to go get an expedited passport to go pay $200-300 to pay $200-300 to have a woman that they paying. Would be nice to say I love you or other things involving your malicious proclivities. I'm gonna be nice. It's all fake. She says it to everybody. She says it to everybody. Some of y'all got a far worse problem. Some of y'all take that $40 and cash app that whore and get it virtually.
Right.
You know what we do in the UPK? We just go get it. We just go court sisters. That's what we do.
Right.
That's what we do. We go outside and touch grass. We ain't afraid of women here. I pray you understand. You know what I mean? That's the real problem. And that's what you need to realize. Susan and Becky and them Africans shouldn't even be an option. It's not an option. You see the consequence, right? Imagine going to court and it's video of you being assaulted and you running away and you're still found guilty. Better go get with a sister, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Told you quite a sister argue with you. A sister argue with you. Yeah, I mean, listen. It's a lot. Keep going, Nabai.
Come. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above what?
All people.
Above all people. We're above all people. Black man, you are above all people. Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, we are above all people. Read.
Verse 7.
No, read it again. Above all people.
Above all people.
You got to stay with me.
Upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. We are above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That means that black man, that Latino man, and that First Nation man is above everybody that is on the earth. That Latina sister, that First Nation sister, and that black sister, she's above all people. Above. Don't sell yourself short. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're above them. We're better than that. You're better than that. Moral story. Leave them heathens alone. Alawapanya. All right.
Get it on. All right. I'll take your questions in the room and online. We'll get it on tonight. We'll definitely go into that Jonathan Majors. That's a good story. You should be able to take out on the street, to take out on the internet. Of course, Palestine and Israel will do that every week. I'll show you more evidence on where the Palestine and Israel conflict comes from and where the belief comes from that oppressing a people can create the greatest nation on earth, man. That's what the Israelis believe. The Israelis believe that through oppression, there is prosperity. I'm going to show you tonight where they got that from, all right? Whenever you're ready, let's do it. Hold up, I forgot. Un momento, lo siento. 1 second. Stand by. You just stack the questions up for a second. Mi gente, pasa aquí, mi gente. Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Soy tu hermano y estos son los anuncios. Somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, debajo del comando de el general Yahanna. Carnales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres latino, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido. Dios, tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa. Pero su iglesia tiene toda la culpa de lo que nos está pasando. That will begin the class, all right? Let me also set up this thing here. Did you want to, you said last week you wanted me to, so I can shout out the people on here. I go on TikTok and we go on together, or I just do it?
Yeah, we go on together, sir.
No problem. Hold on. I did the class, Thursday night class from this thing last week. It worked out pretty well. First time. I got to go live. Also, you reminded me of something. Also, myself and also Officer Yashikar will begin to make my Spanish classes public. Lord of Thou this week. We'll go public on TikTok. He'll be teaching me Spanish. You're going to see me work through it. I'm doing the best I can. We're going to work through it. Well, I'll just make it public so everyone can see it. All right, we'll do it this week. After I get back from Florida, as you know, I have to go down to Florida to do the mandatory online class down there, all right? This Thursday. Also, I'll be doing a Christmas class down there to break down how evil Christmas is and to prove that Christmas has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Nothing. Everyone understands. I'll take your question now.
Sir. First question is.
We back at the TJ Parser book.
Brother said, Trooper the one y'all said.
You need it now. I'm going to go on TikTok.
All
right, go ahead.
Brother said, how do you master discipline in battling demons and can work. Says, how do you master discipline and battling demons and do what can works out weight sins in the past that you repent from?
Okay, let me try to understand what the warrior is saying. I believe he's just trying to say, how do you fight your personal demons that everyone has, right? Of course, you need to start off, because this is the scripture breakdown class. You need the scriptures about attaining mastery. So you want to start with that one first. Give me attaining mastery in the New Testament. Also give me he that conquereth a city is greater than he that conquereth his own spirit is greater than he that conquereth a city. I'm paraphrasing, of course. When I was very young in the truth, coming up under commanding General Yahanna, I think I was about an officer of 5,000, when I began to focus on discipline and changing myself in a purposeful way. I think I was officer of 5,000 at that time, because I knew that to serve commanding General Yahanna properly, that I needed to not be the person I was at that time. The person I was at that time, I was officer of 5,000. I might have had some zeal, I might have had, love of the Most High. But I knew that to serve commanding General Yahanna, I had to be something greater than that. I had to achieve a higher level. I knew I was not there. I knew that is not who I was at the time. So I began to focus myself on conquering myself, on becoming someone different, on transforming myself into something suitable to the job at hand. Everyone understands. And these are some of the precepts. I put it right here. These are some of the precepts that I begin to focus on. All right, I'll give you more over the coming time, coming days. But these are a few. Read those briefly, all right?
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. What does the word temperate mean? The word temperate means disciplined. Temperate. The word is used like for tempering steel, right? If you're trying to make a sword, you're going to have to make it super hot and then plunge it into cold water. Super hot and plunge it into cold water. What does that process do? The heat weakens the metal. The cold water expels the weaker metals from the sword. Everybody understands? So you want the weaker metals out of you. To do that, you got to get in the fire. You understand? That's another important precept I was learning at that time. That the man forge a man through the fire of affliction. That's how a man is made more precious than the fine gold. Everybody understands. Yea, better, more precious than the fine gold of Euphaz. That's a precept. Euphaz was a region famous for its pure gold at that time. Well, for gold to be pure, you got to get into the fire and then purge yourself of weakness, which means what? You have to search for it in yourself. You have to find it in yourself. You got to get into a situation that will not allow you to be weak. You have to put yourself in that situation. And in doing so, you purge yourself of weakness. Right. And this is something that the Israelite School of UPK, this is our business. It's something that we do as a profession. Everyone understands. Go ahead. I think that's it. You can read those precepts for time's sake. You can read that one and the other ones I pulled. You read those, man. Get with your camp leader. Get some counseling. No problem. Next.
Sir. Officer Mashamar asked Salaki, sir, I have a question. Isaiah 45:7 says, I form the light and create darkness. I make people create evil. Mm-hmm. I, the Lord, do all these things. Mm-hmm. Is there such things as a righteous evil?
No, there's no such thing as you doing any righteous evil at all. When the Most High said he creates evil, he's talking about the bad things that happen to evil people. You understand? If you get 30 years in jail, you will say, I'm in an evil condition because it's terrible. If you get shot, you'll say, man, this evil thing happened to me. If you get, can I say the disease that people get in age? If you get Disease? If you get a disease that comes from sexual deviance, you will say, an evil thing has happened to me. Well, the Most High God created that evil thing that happened to you. That's what this precept is talking about. The Most High did not create the LGBT community, but he damn sure created the punishment for it. Please believe that. He didn't create, the drug addiction or people getting unalive, but he damn sure created the punishment for it. So when the Bible says the Most High created evil, he's speaking about the punishment that happens to bad people. Those evil things that happen to you in your life, the Most High God did those things. He made you. Break it down. Come on. What did I do now? Go ahead. I jammed something up. Okay, so lucky. Those terrible things that you look on your life and you go, oh man, I just keep getting arrested. I just keep getting locked up. I just keep losing my job when my urine comes back dirty. These terrible things keep happening to me. You women, you're especially stupid because you follow white women who are the chief stupid idiots and the most worshipped idiots of all time in history. All societies have been worshiping the oppressor's daughter going back to the Greeks. They were the first deities, white women, the first deities before the gods of Olympus, before the Titans. People worship their mother. They worship mother goddesses. Well, you're especially dumb, and our women go learn from them. And so because of that, every man you meet, and every time the relationship goes bad, this evil, I keep meeting the wrong type of man. These evil things keep happening to me. Yeah, the Most High God is the one that created the punishment for promiscuous women. He created it. You understand? Please.
This was so heavy about I made sure what you're saying. The first thing that popped in my head was Jonathan Majors. Like I was going into before you came to the class.
Forget about it.
It's on video of him getting his phone back from that she-devil, her attacking him, her chasing him all throughout Brooklyn, and he still found guilty.
Yeah. Still got. I mean, it was amazing. The brothers just showed me the video yesterday of that cave woman chasing him up and down the street like a deer. God damn it, they cut me off. I don't know what I did that time. Come on, check this one out. Come on. I was trying the best I could. Okay. No sweat. Hate speech. Up and down the block. She was chasing that man. I just knew he was beating the case. I said, oh, well, this is good for him, right? He's beating the case. Come to find out. Come on. That was all people that can't stand me. That's 4,000 people that hate my face the minute it comes up on the screen. How long am I cut off for?
They didn't even say so. They're not even letting you.
Oh, well, that's it for me. I'm off of the internet. They cut me off of electricity. All right, so now I just knew that cat was beating that case in my naivete. I should have known that he wasn't beating that case because of who was in that courtroom crying. Oh, can you imagine? I didn't see the court case. Was it aired on TV? I can only imagine the tears. The tears must have been, flowing like the river, not the Niagara. The tears in that room must have been amazing. When she showed the pictures of her neck, she showed the pictures. Oh, those pictures. They love that. Look, that's a important. Let me give you young brothers an important lesson. When you get into an argument with your woman and she scratches your face up, rips off your shirt, and hits you with a frying pan, and then you go to grab her by her neck to tell her to stop, and she takes a picture of her neck, she is not taking that picture for a memento. Do you understand? That picture is evidence. And it is the only evidence because, of course, there will be no evidence of how she threw the TV at you, hit you with the poured hot chicken grease all over yourself, scratched you up and down your face and your back. There will be no evidence of that. But the minute that you go, get off me and grab her, she becomes a photographer. All the different angles. She's going to take it at bruise. You better wise the hell up. You better use your goddamn head. You better, because she is using her head. Now you know where our sisters get this behavior from. This is where they get it from. Your whole life, you thought black women were somehow inherently evil. They're not. Black women are inherently righteous. Black women are inherently kind. Hispanic women are inherently docile and righteous and submissive. The black woman is naturally submissive. All of our women are made to be perfect for their man, every last one of them. But in this world, there is great temptation. And some of us fall to that temptation. The same way black men become unalivers because of the mafia and Al Capone and TV and movies and radio, our women become disgusting, dirty, dog-headed bitches because white women are that.
Right.
That's the reason. And so now as you see that Jonathan Major story, now you know where your baby's mother got that from. And she's taking them pictures, brother. She becomes a photographer. She on her phone, you got numbers and pictures of you with another woman. She has all the evidence in the world to put you in jail with no context of where that picture came from at all. With none of the evidence showing that she attacked you. As a matter of fact, look this up. Alexa, is there a new law being passed to make beauty parlors? Oh, Alexa, stop. Alexa, is there a new law being passed to make hairstylists report abuse? Alexa, are hairstylists being mandated to report abuse?
From trainingatbc.com. They are required to report abuse or can be fined and even serve jail time.
Let me tell you, this is the new law that's being passed. That a hairstylist, when your woman goes to get her hair done, that they're training hairstylists because they see a woman, they see her neck, they see her face, and they're all up on her that to train them to get the signs of abuse, so that they can report that abuse, so that you can go to jail. Because of course you are not calling the cops. She cut off your pinky toe. You ain't calling anybody at all. She's gonna shoot you in the leg. You're gonna go to the hospital and lie about the whole thing. Why? Because she's your baby's mother, and you're a man, and you're embarrassed to report abuse. You're embarrassed to tell everyone how your wife beats you. You don't want to tell anybody about it. But she happily will tell her friends how she cut your clothes up, punched you in the face, and blacked your eye to show you that you can't play with her like that. You got her effed up. You got her all the way effed up. You can't play with her like that. She's going to tell everyone that she beat you. Everyone. And they're going to laugh and laugh at you. And the minute that you put your hands up to block her or to restrain her or to defend yourself in any way, the hairstylist is going to have you arrested. This is an actual law, an actual rule. You should look it up in your phones to get the specifics of the whole damn thing. You understand? So what does Jonathan Majors need to know? Let me give it to you real brief. Your wife takes your phone. You think you have the right to go upside her head to get your phone back because, of course, it's your phone. You think, well, this is my phone. You know, she has my phone. Let her have the phone. Who gives a damn? Let her get the phone. Let her go through the phone. Let her see all the women that you're talking to. Who cares? Let her tell the cops that. This is how dumb she is. She's going to tell the police that. She's going to say, officer, you know he's talking to other women. You know he ain't coming to the house till 5 a.m. She's going to tell the police that because in her mind, hurting her feelings is a crime. She thinks that is a crime. And she's going to tell a judge in court, Your Honor, he was talking to all these women. Did you hit him? Sure enough did. Yes, I did hit him. Sure enough did. He was talking to them other women. Don't hit her. You cannot rule a woman physically. You cannot do that. When you get physical with her, she rules you. That's it. The minute you go to smack her or to hit her or to choke her because you think you're justified because she has your phone, you have just given your wife power to destroy you. You cannot hit her. She grabs your phone. You tell her to give your phone back. You say, give me my phone. Put my phone in my hand right now. If you don't put my phone in my hand, you can keep that phone. You can keep it. And before you know it, you'll give her a punishment that'll make her go out and find you women. after that punishment is done. Do you understand? Do not be dumb like dumbass Jonathan Majors, who thought he could make some oppressor's daughter become like Michelle Obama. Did you know he said that? Did you go?
She's gonna do what she wants. If she accidentally unallows somebody with her car, nothing's gonna happen to her.
She's gonna cry.
You understand what I'm saying? And she's gonna go home. She has so much more leeway to you in this place. She can go do whatever she wanna do. Of course she wanna go party and fall out and whatever else she wanna do. She's going to go do that. This is her thing.
Give him a hand, because that's the truth. Let me give you a few precepts on it for the scripture breakdown. Give me that a woman is the most powerful thing, but the truth conquers all. And give me the tears of a woman are a great vexation, because that is a tool in court, brother. That crying. Oh, that if she can turn that thing on, brother. She is like Cicely Tyson. She's such an actor. She is such an actor. Go ahead.
You say it, sir, is so heavy. If I may, sir, that happened with Keke Palmer when she was saying, "Oh, Darius Jackson was abusive," but when Darius Jackson filed his counterclaim and said, "No, it's the other way around." When Keke started to drink, she get abusive, and she get verbally abusive and start hitting me. They asked Keke about it. She was like, "You know, shit happens."
Yeah, of course. Listen, and of course, he didn't call the cops. He didn't have to try to press charges on her. With so many of your brothers, that's what you need to do. Especially if you know for a fact she's going to call the cops on you. You better defend your damn self. You better, if you're married to some troglodyte, you better. Who had a scripture over here? Give me the crying one too. The tears are a vexation. I'm paraphrasing. Go ahead. Please.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 26, verse 27. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies.
A loud crying woman and a scold will be sought out to drive away enemies. It is a terrible sound, and nobody wants to hear that. Everyone just makes they want it to stop. You know what a woman's crying and being loud is like? It's like a baby that is crying, and you know you will give this baby anything it wants just to make it stop crying to end. So every man will go, "Who hit you? Who made you cry? Let me go shoot him. Let me go kill your boyfriend. Let me go unalive your boyfriend. Salakia, let me unalive your boyfriend because you're my cousin or my baby sister, and now I got to get involved in your marriage and go unalive your boyfriend and go to jail for the rest of my life because my baby sister was crying." Everyone just wants it to stop. It's a terrible sound. And your wife or your baby's mother is such a manipulative dog that she'll use it knowing that people just want her to stop crying. She'll use it. She's loud. And what else happened this week? That Cardi B. Ooh, you done married her, brother. A lot of you married that. That's your wife. That's your wife on Facebook. A constant barrage of subliminal text about you every damn day. That's your wife talking about you. What is it when he don't never call? He don't spend no time with you. And that's your wife. Your wife has to turn the world against you because she's angry with you. She's mad at you, so it's not like, well, I'm going to give him hell when he gets home. I'm going to argue with him when he gets home. No. I'm calling his mother. I'm mad at his mother. I'm mad at his family. I want the planet Earth to hate him. I want everyone on his job to see it. I want all of his friends. That's what Cardi B did to that cat. And as I watch it, I go, I know where she gets that from the oppressor's daughter. That's them. The oppressor's daughter is going to embarrass you and make you the enemy of the planet Earth. These men that were unalive on these walls, hanging from trees, were there because some oppressor's daughter wanted the town to hate them, the village to hate them, the city to hate them. And the city heard her crying. Oh, he touched me. He saw under my skirt. What? Oh, I'll get him. Stop crying, Miss Ann. Stop crying. And they go out and get a rope and find a tree for that slut. Well, that's Cardi B. She wants the world to turn against Offset and to unalive him, to harm him, to hate him, for him to lose money, for him to lose a job. And of course, he needs to get back on social media and say, girl, I love you, and sing to her and apologize to her after she's embarrassed him to the entire world. Sisters, what if brothers did that to you? Oh, he could say some things about you in public. Please believe that. Oh, he could say a lot of things, very unflattering things he could say about you. Very unflattering. Things you wouldn't want anybody to know at all. He could do that to you. But of course, he doesn't do that to you because you're a woman and he treats you like a baby and he's kind and gentle to you. And you have a lust for revenge that only comes from the white woman. That's where it comes from her. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You learn from them, and so now you treat your husband the way a white woman treats her husband. Officer.
If I could, they just happened. Megan Thee Stallion said that the brother cheated on her in the song, but then he was like, "Well, I'm gonna put out my own song," and he told everything about her, and then later on she was like, "Well, now I feel like I can't sing nothing." But it's like you knew that once you put that out, all of your fans were gonna turn their opinion and hate this man. And the whole time you did so much to this man. It's all the men that you can deal with. He talking about you had him shaking that hand that you can been with, and he don't even know who hand he shook. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. This is Megan Thee Stallion's man.
Yeah, dude she was with before.
Okay.
She had his hand that she didn't lay with, lied about other men that got him arguing with them on social media. They probably sit there looking at the brother like, brother,
What a sucker.
you don't know. We didn't
all been there. Go ahead. I'll give you 1 second. Go ahead.
The backup officer, I.S.U.P.K, said he failed to mention the part that stood out. Probably a lot of you remember.
Are y'all on camera?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said, I lied for you. Like in regards to the Tory Lane situation, that stuck out to me. He's like, I lied for you. Like he knew what type of broad you was and still lied for you. And then when it happened to him, now you're surprised.
I mean, brothers, you got to choose better. That's all. What else can I do for you? Come on.
If I could, speaking of what you say he's a sucker, like he has a tattoo that says feminist on his body.
Who is this? Pari?
That's his name, Party.
Party.
Tattoo that says feminist.
Well, congratulations. Okay. I mean, you have to choose better. And when I say choose better, I'm not talking about choose who to marry better. The marriage license means nothing. It's nothing at all. It's irrelevant, right? You can get 10 of those. That's irrelevant. You have to choose who you have sex with better. You've got to choose that better. And men are historically terrible at choosing the woman to have sex with. You're horrible at that. You've got to become better at that because it is a life-changing, life-altering, life-destroying choice. You've got to choose better. When you go to decide, you can't let your penis decide who you have sex with. If you do that, you're going to regret it in a way that it's really hard to understand unless you do it. You don't really know depression yet. You don't really know to be in jail over a girl. It's a terrible thing. And remember, you're going to be in jail with people who are unalivers, with real unalivers. And you're going to say, I'm in here because, because my girl did this. That's a rough thing to say when you're not going to want to tell anybody why you're in there because they'll know that you're not really one of them. You understand? You're not a criminal. You're not like them. You're just in here over love. That's why you're in jail. Like, don't be that. Don't do that. Don't have a child with some woman like that. And then, of course, the rest of your life is destroyed. You have to make a better choice about who you have sex with. There is not better advice that I could give you. It is the most important thing I could say. Do you understand? That's it. Otherwise, you're going to come into the truth. You brothers, so many of you will come into the truth. You'll get off of drugs. You'll get off of sin. You'll change everything about your life. But the woman that you had sex with in the past will still be able to destroy your life in the school. While you're in the school, while you don't get high anymore, you don't commit crime anymore, but you still have a child with her, which means you are going to jail. That's what's going to happen. Commanding General Yahanna is going to have to find a way to keep you out of prison because we can't erase it. That's how important sex is. It's permanent. It doesn't change. You could be a sinner, you could be righteous. If you have sex with the wrong woman, then it affects you either way. You have got to choose better. Does everyone understand? We shall see. We shall see. You die.
If I could, sir, saying it's so heavy. That's why Tory in jail.
Please,
now.
Lord.
Tory Lane, I mean, he in jail because Israel shot his other rib. He got to take them off.
He didn't shoot her.
The bodyguard came out recently and said that Kelsey had it.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, the Bible says the things between who can know what happens between a man and his maid. Who in the hell knows what's happening in the house? I don't know who shot somebody in their house or who hit who or who started the fight. It's intimate. Marriage is an intimate relationship, which means outsiders do not know what happened. You see a woman with a scratch on her neck. What does that mean? She's being beat? Have you seen him? Did you look at him? You don't know how she got the scratch. You don't know if that scratch is abuse or if that scratch is him trying to defend himself from being abused. Why? Because marriage is intimate. So outsiders are very poor at judging what happens in a marriage. It's difficult. Most police don't want to get involved in it because who in the hell knows what happened? I don't know who in the hell shot Meg Thee Stallion, nor would I even know who she was if the young brothers didn't tell me who she was. Who knows who shot her? This is what you should do. Do not have sex with a promiscuous woman. Do not have sex with a woman because of what she looks like. And please don't think that that's love, because that's not what love is. It's more chemical than it is love at all. It's like saying a cat in heat is in love with the alley cat. What you feel for a woman is not love, it's chemical. It's more hormonal. It's like cats or dogs. You understand? That's not love. That's not what you feel. It's lust, and every animal feels it. It's really not even inherent to human beings. That what you call love between a man and a woman is not even something that's inherent to humans, because every living thing has this insatiable urge to mate. That's all you have, an insatiable urge to mate. It's not even only human, what you feel. It's not. It's just being a mammal, being an animal. It's not love, and you shouldn't think of it like it's love. You're going to make a drastic mistake. You're feeling the call of nature just like a blue whale or an orca or a cat or a dog feels the same damn thing. What you want to do is raise yourself above your base nature and make a decision that an animal would not make. Make a decision that a cat in heat would not make. Then you have chose wisely, and that's precious, brother. That's precious on this earth. Everybody understands. All right, next topic. Sister.
So I read in, I think it was Psalms 118:89 that the Lord's word is firm in heaven. So I read that as if it implies that it doesn't change its mind. So why do we have the Old and the New Testament?
Because the Old and the New Testament do not contradict each other at all. And it's a fluid, congruent thought. Many people in the world believe that the Old and New Testament are a contradiction, meaning the Old Testament is judgment and the New Testament forgives, and that's not correct. The Old Testament forgives and the New Testament has judgment in it. All right? Let me just give you, so in essence, the problem is what people told you about the Bible is not true. All right? The Old and the New Testament are the same thing. I'll take Jeremiah 31:31, all right, to show you. And you can also give me, he came not to change the law or the prophets, all right? I'll take that first if you have it. Go ahead.
Romans 15:4.
Go ahead, you can read that.
Romans,
These are the precepts you need, sis, all right? Go ahead.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Now, this is in the New Testament. The New Testament is saying whatever was written in the past was written for our learning. It was important to the people that were around during the New Testament to read the Old Testament. It's important for you and I to read the New and the Old Testament because all of it is the will of God and they don't contradict each other at all. There is not one contradiction in the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. The Christians, mainly Black Christians who want Black people to attach themselves more to the New Testament. I'm assuming you know that from being in the world. Did you grow up Christian? So most people, I mean, even if you don't go to church, you're still Christian. You celebrate Christmas and you eat pork, you're Christian. You get my point. And most people in the world believe that the New Testament is the good part of the book. Is that true to your experience? That's the one, that we like. We like the New Testament because the New Testament is full of love and forgiveness and kindness. And what did people say about the Old Testament? It's full of hate, right? And the New Testament is full of? It did away with the law. It's full of love and sweetness, right? That is a lie. That's all. It's just the Bible is the same. The Bible doesn't change. God doesn't change. God is the author of the Old and the New Testament, but preachers are liars. Did you hear what happened today in the Catholic Church? Oh, sister, the Catholic Church about 2 hours ago said that now Catholic priests can bless LGBT marriage. Good to go? Damn. The Catholic Church can bless can bless alternative. That they can bless alternative marriages. It came out to the Pope. It was an edict from the Pope. Now that is a gigantic change in the Catholic Church, right? Where did the change come from? Do you know? It's just common sense. It's just common sense. Go ahead.
Man,
What do you mean when you say man? You're right, but what do you mean by that? No, let's stay on man, because man is the exact right word that you should understand, but you have to understand what man is. That when you say man, do you mean the Pope? Or no? No. Man is not the Pope. He's a man, but he is not man. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. People think that means I'm a man, I can never trust Yediah. I'm a man, I could never trust you. That is not what that's talking about. Because of course, Christ is a man, Peter is a man, Mark is a man, Isaiah is a man. And these were men that you owed your trust to, that you had to obey. Moses was somebody you better trust. And he was a man. So when it says, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, what is man? It's to the sister's question. Come on. So we know it's not talking about don't trust any man. Don't trust a man. Man is what? Last one. Come on. No. Go ahead.
If I could, man is like the things that we are able to do ourselves.
No. Last one. Let me get him.
Us.
No. Come on. No. Man is plural. It's plural. Which is why we say the white man is the oppressor. What do I mean? Jim on my job? What do I mean? Donald Trump? What do I mean? This white man pumping gas in New Jersey? No, I'm not talking about Jim. I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about the plurality of them. Man is plural. It is not singular. Man is mankind. That's man. Mankind. Cursed be the man. I'm one man. I'm cursed if I trust what people say. Do you understand? What the masses of society say, you're going to be cursed if you do what they do. If you do what the population do, the popular thing, the thing that all of the people agree on, you trust in that. You don't trust in God. You trust in the popular opinion. Well, what's the popular opinion of alternative lifestyles, sister? It's to be accepted. Was it like that 30 years ago? 40 years ago? That's why the opinion of the Pope changed. Because the people have decided that alternative lifestyles are what they want. So you're going to get it. Why do you think the IUIC, the Purple Pigs, believe that a man can only have one wife? Who can blow my mind? With the obvious answer. Now, when Nate was an officer in the UPK, he believed the man could have more than one wife. But then, as time goes on, he believes that a man must only have one wife and you must get a marriage license. You know why? Because man says that. Because the people say that. The population decide what God does in the minds of religious people. So now the population wants alternative lifestyle. You getting it. The population wants one wife and a marriage license. You're getting it. The population wants the law to be done away with. The population wants to eat pork, wants to eat shrimp, and they want to be alternative lifestyles. They're getting it, which is why we as blacks and Latinos, attach ourselves to the New Testament, because this is the one where you can do whatever you want. And that's why we're in church. So we can do whatever we want. That's why we go. The Catholic Church has terrible membership problems now. Archdioceses shutting down all over the world. They need some money in there. They need some cash. And they already let the mafia in there. Why not let the alternative people in there? Everyone else is in there. Why not let them in? They've been in there forever anyway, fiddling and diddling in everybody's child. Why not just bless their marriages? The people decide what men of God say, not in here. You understand? Not in this house. The things that Commanding General Yahanna teaches us, it does not come from man. Commanding General Yahanna is a man. What he teaches us is not of man, meaning it is not what the population decides. It's not a popular vote. It's not what is in trendy right now today. Everyone else, they're just telling you what you want to hear. You understand? So now that's what they say about the New Testament. Give it the precepts. I gave you that one. Give me the other one I told you about. Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the day is come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new.
Hey, what?
A new.
Hey, what?
A new.
This is in the Old Testament, in Jeremiah. The days come when I will make a new covenant. A new what?
Covenant.
The word covenant means promise or agreement. We had the old covenant. The Old Testament said we're getting a new covenant. It's right here in the Old Testament. The Old Testament agrees with the New Testament. The Old Testament prophesies the New Testament. Keep going.
With the house of Israel.
With who?
With the house of Israel.
And that new covenant, that new agreement is with the house of Israel. Not all people, not all nations, not everybody. The old covenant was with the house of Israel. The new covenant is with the house of Israel. The Old Testament was for the house of Israel. The New Testament is for the house of Israel. Continue.
And with the house of Judah.
And with the house of Judah, who is the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes, scattered throughout North America. That's the tribe of Judah, the true biblical ethnic Jews. Who is Israel? The so-called Hispanics. They were at one time split, but the Most High prophesied right here in the Old Testament that they would come back together and get the new covenant, get the New Testament. Jesus Christ came for blacks and Hispanics. That's why he came. That's why he died. That's in the Bible. Continue.
Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers.
Not according to that covenant that the Most High made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Keep going.
In the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break.
We broke the old covenant. He gave us a new one. I got to speed you up for time's sake. The old covenant was based on the killing of sheep, he's given us a new covenant where we're not killing any sheep anymore, but we're going to follow a man who offered himself to be killed or offered himself to be unalive. And now we have to serve him. That's the New Testament. That's where we're not doing any more sacrifices, but we're sacrificing what's in here to live for him. Give me the last one to prove the point for her. I came not to change the law or the prophets.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
You heard that, sister. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. The Christians say what? The law is done away with. This is in the New Testament, and it's written in red, which means Jesus Christ said it. Think not that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. The law is what? Don't eat pork, don't eat shrimp, don't be an alternative person, don't vote, don't do this, don't do that. Christians say that that's gone. The New Testament says it's not gone because Jesus Christ said again,
think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
The prophets are the prophecies in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, all those books in the Old Testament. He didn't come to get rid of those prophecies. This land that we're in today is prophesied to be destroyed in the Old Testament. And Christ did not come to end that prophecy. He didn't come to destroy it. Keep going.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
To what?
To fulfill.
To what?
To fulfill.
Now, who can give me the answer to this? I don't think a damn soul can. Let's give the sister a chance first. Sister, when Jesus Christ just said that he came not to destroy the law or the prophets, but to fulfill it, what does fulfill it mean? Well, what do you mean by that? Give me a law and then show me him fulfilling it. You pick one.
I guess that we shouldn't kill people.
Done. That we shouldn't. The proper word is, I can't use it, I'm assuming. Unalive. It starts with an M. The actual word, when it says thou shalt not, the actual word is the M word, not the K word. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because otherwise you couldn't, kill him. You couldn't unalive a fly. You couldn't unalive a chicken to eat it. You're allowed to K, but you're not allowed to M. Do you get my point? I'm doing the best I can. All right. The water. All right. So now, okay, you're not allowed to M, to unalive. How would Christ fulfill that?
Well, I guess if you put it in terms of like eye for an eye, like we are held accountable for that curse of killing people or unalive. Sorry.
Okay, but it's all right. But we were already accountable in the Old Testament. If you eye for an eye, if you unalive somebody in the Old Testament, you were unalived. But the Most High said, "Thou shalt not unalive." So how would he fulfill that?
By adding, I guess you can say rules to it. Like you just said, we can't K, but we can. And so he made one just.
No, that already was around. You could already K a chicken. You could already K someone if the judgment was that they must be unalived in the Old Testament. But the Old Testament says, "Thou shalt not unalive. Thou shalt not M." That's what it says. But it wasn't being fulfilled. Do you understand? Jesus Christ came to fulfill it. Officer. Give him a hand. That's all you need. The Bible says not to eat pork. Were people eating pork in the Old Testament? Hell yeah, it's in the book of Jeremiah. They would go behind every tree eating swine's flesh. People ate pork. They ate pork in the book of Daniel. They ate pork in the temple. They ate pork. They did that. They were doing it. Now, if a judge was there, they would get unalived for that. But the people were eating pork. A judge would come and stone them. A judge would come and punish them. But the people were eating pork. Well, Jesus Christ came so that we could learn not to eat pork. There's no reason to unalive anyone. There's no reason for punishment. There's no reason for judgment because, sister, I'm not going to do it. Right? I'm not going to do it. It's whatever. The law, listen, if you're not going to break the law, the punishment could be anything. You understand? Like, let's say the oppressor said tomorrow, sister, for people that give me a terrible thing that you would never do. For people that harm their child, the law is that you got to be thrown out of an airplane. Would that matter? Why? Because I ain't doing it anyway. You can make the judgment whatever the hell you want. You can say, well, if you can say the new law is whoever is a alternative man is now getting thrown out of the man Bezos' spaceship. Whatever. I'm not doing it anyway. Do you understand? Why aren't I doing it? Because I have learned that is evil. So the law about eating pork, eating shrimp, celebrating Christmas could be as stiff, as strong as you want. I follow Christ, which means I'm not doing it regardless of the punishment. Let me give you another question. Let's say our oppressor said you're free to harm your child. It doesn't matter. You can harm your child as much as you want. Would you do it? Why?
Because I'm not supposed to do that.
But the law, the punishment is gone. You can do it all you want now. No one will arrest you. No one will put you in jail. Will you do it? Why?
Because the Lord says I'm not supposed to do it.
Yeah, because it's wrong. You see? You don't need a punishment if you believe it's wrong. You don't need a punishment for eating pork. I don't need a punishment for not, what's the word you can use for it? Assaulting a child. I don't need a punishment for that. I don't need a punishment for doing evil things because I'm not doing them. Right. So the punishment you could remove. You can get rid of that. I don't need that. I've learned from Jesus Christ not to do those things. That is fulfilling it. God didn't want us to do it. Now we don't. That's what fulfilling it means. Everyone gets it. I know you do not. Listen, and I'm going to be testing you later, and not a goddamn soul will understand. But you need this to properly cut Christians. So you think you're cutting Christians now. Oh, but once you get these type of precepts in you, you're going to cut Christians out like a machine, like something that just, mows down philosophies out. Everyone understands. Next topic. You get the point. I hope. Solid. All right, go ahead. In the room.
I had a question about Jude 1, I believe 5.
Jude 1 and 5
to 10.
Yikes, that's a lot. What's the point?
I'm trying to understand the spirit behind verse 9 when it says, "Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the
I got you. Come on.
Oh, he's talking about when Michael was contending. Satan came to Michael to check him, like, yo, Moses messed up. You know what I mean? By, Lord, what he did. I take it credit, for the Lord, which goes to show that Satan loves the Lord more than you do.
Satan definitely works for the Most High. That's for sure. Is that your point? Meaning, why are they having this argument? Is that your point?
If I could, I wanted to know which part they contended for in the Old Testament.
Okay, the part in the Old Testament it's not in the Old Testament when they contended. Paul knew they contended. What you do know from the Old Testament is that Moses was not allowed to go into the promised land. That's the contention. Moses led the Israelites to the promised land, and then in the end died before he could get into the promised land. You understand? He didn't make it in. And so Satan and Michael fought over the bones of Moses. Meaning once they found the promised land, these bones by right should be carried into the promised land like Israel did Jacob. Jacob, when he died, his body was carried from Egypt into the promised land. They packed him in salt. They mummified him so that he could be taken from Egypt, which is where he was with the Israelites, and carried all those years into the promised land to be buried in holy land. Moses' body, they had to fight over that because Satan believed that Moses was not worthy to make it for his body to be buried in the holy land. Go ahead.
So my second part is the spirit between 7 and 9, basically.
Okay, go ahead and read it. I'll
When
break it
says,
down.
I'll just read the whole thing.
No sweat.
It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, and set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignity. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuke thee. But these speak evil of those which they know not,
Mm-hmm.
but what they know naturally as brute beasts, in those things they corrupt themselves. I'm asking
I'll sum the whole thing up for you for time's sake, right? Paul at that time was battling over his authority in the truth because of what he did in the world. Paul, when he was in the world, was a member of a conspiracy to unalive a disciple of Christ. He was part of it. Do you understand? He was in the world and he was a Pharisee. He was young, but he was a Pharisee. And so the men that went and unalived Stephen, you know about that in the book of Acts, right? 15, I believe. You know who Stephen is, the disciple of Christ who was unalived, right? It's an amazing story about how he got unalived. It's outstanding, right? But anyway, he went and gave this amazing speech about Israel and brung all the prophets and Moses down to Christ and then cut them at the end to their souls. And then they all picked up stones and unalived him. Well, when they went to pick up the stones, they took off their jackets first. They took off their coats. They handed their coats to this young man named Saul. They handed their coats to him. He held the coats while they unalived Stephen. Then later on, he had a transformation because Christ came to him when he was traveling to go afflict and persecute more disciples of Christ. Christ appeared to him on this road to Damascus. He went blind for 3 days. He went to someone's house and they taught him the truth. And he realized that he could not kick against the pricks. A prick is a brick, meaning you can't fight a stone. You kick it and you're going to hurt your foot, which is what Paul learned. He's kicking something that's harder than his foot. He's going to get hurt. He began to understand that Christ was the King of Israel that was prophesied in the Old Testament. You understand, right? Well, people in the truth who wanted to come against him, people in the truth who wanted to come against him would bring up that he was one of the ones that held the coats of them when Stephen was being unalived, because they wanted to teach a false doctrine that was against what Paul was teaching. And they began to pull men out the school. And now his name has been changed from Saul to Paul, right? Paul means little. Saul, I don't remember what it means. You can look it up. Alexa, what does the name Saul mean?
The name Saul has several meanings depending on the context. In Hebrew, it means asked for or inquired of God.
Alexa, stop. That's what it means. His name was changed from that to little. Who can guess why? To remind him that he cannot kick a rock. He's going to get hurt. He's small. Do you understand? He's small. His name was changed. Now he's the Apostle Paul, right? But these men were evil. They were trying to change the doctrine. They were trying to get men not to follow Paul so that they could worship angels and worship all kinds of Greek nonsense. Paul began to say, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, that was destroyed for their wickedness, you're going to be destroyed too. Why? Because also, not only will you be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah, because of your breaking of the law, because of your disobedience to the commandments of God. You speak evil of dignities. Who's the dignity today? Who's the dignitary, which is the word we will use today? Who's the dignitary that they speak evil of, officer? Paul. You speak evil of dignities. When Satan didn't do that, Michael did not do that. Michael battled Shaitan, Satan. He didn't bring a railing accusation against Satan. He didn't do that. Meaning, goddamn, Michael had more respect for Satan than you have for me. You'll say something like that about me? Michael wouldn't do that to Satan. Meaning, watch your effing mouth. That's the point of it. Watch your mouth, or else you'll end up like Sodom and Gomorrah if you don't watch your mouth. Who is this good for? Anyone coming against Commanding General Yahanna. You should watch your mouth out. He is a dignitary. He's someone who has earned for the right for you to watch your mouth around him. Now, if you don't do it, you'll end up like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's all. You would speak evil of someone like him? What in the hell have you done? What have you done? What, you made some group that conforms to what the world says? To what? Made some group that conforms to what man says? Huh? You know how much strength he had to have to say that a man can have more than one wife? Sister, let me ask you, how much easier do you think sisters would have it in the world? How much more better would you be looked at if the UPK believed that a man could only have one wife and you had to get a marriage license? What would your family, your friends, the people you know, how would what they say and what they think change about you?
They would probably be more accepting.
Of course they would. Of course they would. It would be so much easier, Rock, to just do that. Now, what are you going to do? Speak evil about Commanding General Yahanna when he's done something you would never do? You would compromise immediately for money, compromise for acceptance. Watch your mouth. You should do that, or else you'll end up like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
That's the point. Good to go. Next. No problem. Online.
Colin Khan, sir. Colin Khan, a few questions online, sir.
Can I give you also why it would be so much easier to say that a man could only have one wife? Because then we could all still go out and get prostitutes. Just like who, sister? Yeah, give her a hand. That's what they do. All right. You ever see those brothers with wedding rings? You've seen them before, right? A brother with a wedding ring is in the strip club and in his car getting oral satisfaction. He has a wedding ring on. He only has one wife. Damn, we couldn't do the same thing. That's what the IUIC does. That's what the Christians do. That's what the Catholics do. They get one wife, and then they go be with children and men and prostitutes. Why don't we just do the same thing? Instead, Commanding General Yahanna maintains his integrity and does not conform to what man says or what the world says. And we also don't go to prostitutes. And we also don't go to strip clubs. And we also, I can't say that, promiscuous women. We also avoid them like it's life and being unalive. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, I was at my slavery, and it was like an older brother came in, you know what I'm saying? He older than me, had been married for a while, and we got to talking. And we having one of those conversations where it opened up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm an Israelite. And then he asked me, he was like, you believe that a man can have more than one wife? I'm like, yes, in the Bible. I'm like, yeah, we teach that. He was like, nah, I don't agree with that. 7 minutes later, he told me he cheated on his wife with another woman, and now his wife don't want to see him. And then I think he was having a baby with the other woman, and now he was having trouble trying to figure out, like, basically what to do between the two of them. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, do you understand what you just said?
It's so why he doesn't either. I remember the first time I realized I'm arguing with a man about having more than one wife who cheats on every woman he's ever been with. When you realize you're in that conversation, it's wild when you get it. Where brother will say, more than one wife? No, hell no. And you're looking at him and he cheats on every woman he's ever been with.
Right.
Sometimes he has sex with their mother. Am I telling you something you never heard of? Oh yeah. The sister, forget about it. The sister's just a given. He's with her daughter. And he's going to argue with us about having more than one wife. And I remember the first time I realized it, and I just walk away. I just leave. I just, all right, no problem. I just can't, I don't have the patience for that. I got to go. All right, you tired, go ahead.
You said it, so I got into it with brother slavery. He was
Uh-huh.
like, no, man, because I love and respect my mother. You saying you got 2 wives, that ain't cool. Now, mind you, I met the brother real. She slaved with us.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, a young sister came in. He was like, well, you see my girl? I was like, well, you're right now. He was like, oh, that's my girl. I said, so why did you not kill me, man?
It's weird, ain't it? like, what are we? Why'd you argue with me about that? I don't understand. Do you just want to argue with me? Why did you even argue with me about that? You're having sex with 5 and 6 women. Why are you arguing with me about this? I gotta go. Go ahead, up front. You want to say something? Salaki, go ahead.
If I could, sir, it happens all the time. It happens all the time talking to a Christian, because that's what he was.
Of course.
But just to sit there and be like, brother, you just, like, to say you don't believe in having another wife, but then you went and you got another woman, what are you talking about? And then even like, I think he said his wife he had didn't want to have kids, but he wanted kids. So I'm like, y'all could have just had the conversation about you getting another woman. Like, what are you talking about? You do believe in that. You believe, listen, I might not have a woman at all. Well, I think I had my roommate.
Uh-huh.
Like, I got a woman. You got 2 right now. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's a crazy place, huh? That Christian church is a wacky, crazy place. Let me see if I can get one more. Where are we at with the time?
Come, sir. Salaki, sir, General Capone had a question, sir.
Go ahead, General Capone.
Yeah, the question is Joel 2:20. His stink and little savor, is this talking about the unaliving of Esau?
This say it one more time.
The stink and ill savor.
Let me hear it.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate,
Mm-hmm.
with his face toward the east sea,
Mm-hmm.
and his hinder part toward the utmost sea.
Okay.
And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's talking about. Like the smell of an unalive person. We going upstairs or no? We ready?
I got call for Ross.
Let somebody know. I'll keep going until then. All right, go ahead.
Because he hath done great things.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 21. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice.
I'm good. I think that's it. I believe that's all General Kakam wanted. Next.
Officer Kalakazar, sir, going to break down the root of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 21. General breakdown.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 21. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she had wrought folly in Israel.
You got to back up to what this is talking about. This is a woman getting stoned, which was an old form of capital punishment among the Israelites, all right, to be stoned. Many times you were tied to the ground. They would put stakes in the ground, wooden post in the ground, tie you to the wooden post. Sometimes they would just bury you in a hole and leave your head above the hole. And then everybody would just throw rocks at you until you were unalived. It was one of our forms of capital punishment. We had that, and we had burning at the stake. We also had, all right? I'm not sure what the sister did to get unalive. You can read above it and tell me that you already know.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
This is verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, verse 14, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and said, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
This is talking about how you marry a woman, her father said that she has never been with a man, right? And then you're with her, and she has been with a man. And you could tell because there's no bloody bed sheet. And then you find out, and then now you go tell everybody. You go and say, I was cheated. Her father robbed me of my 10 goats and 30 shekels of silver. And she's nothing but a nasty so-and-so. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity.
So now there's a council, because you're saying that my daughter was a promiscuous woman. I'm saying she wasn't. I'm saying she's never been with a man. I took your goats and your money, and it's mine because I didn't break my deal with you. Well, now they have to have a council. Well, to prove that your daughter was a maid, which is an old way of saying she never had sex, you bring the bloody bed sheet to the council. That's a line from one of Captain Picard's good songs. Give him a hand. Excellent line. You get a daughter out, you keep it. You keep the sheet, wrap it up and put it in something and keep it forever. That's the proof of your parenting. You understand? You can now, the day you give away your daughter, you can now have a bloody bed sheet. They hand it to you. You fold it up. You put it inside a case. You lock it away somewhere. If somebody tries to run their mouth, here we go. I got the proof right here. This is the proof of my parenting. You understand? I took your money in good conscience because I gave you a woman who was excellent. You get my point. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her.
You get my point? Meaning, it wasn't because she actually was a promiscuous woman. He just hated my daughter, which can happen sometimes. Where instead, really, you hate her for her personality. You understand? It's not because she's promiscuous. It's not because she cheated on you. It's not because she's some hoe. Excuse me, TikTok. It's really, she talks too much. She's too loud. Maybe so. But she's not a promiscuous woman. And you can't shame her all through the town and give her a name of a sinner because you hate her. Then that man can take you, her father can take you to counsel. Continue.
Verse 17. And lo, he had given occasion of a speech against her.
So now he's made my daughter to be embarrassed, and everyone can speak evil about my daughter. Keep going.
Saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
He went, now you got to imagine 6,000 years ago, when this was, if you found out this girl had been with somebody already, she was a promiscuous woman. And now everybody in the town is looking at her and laughing at her, and they don't want to do business with her. They don't want to sell her food. You understand? She goes to the marketplace. They don't want to sell her fish. She's shunned all throughout the city. But look at this bloody bed sheet. He just hates my daughter. What he's saying about my daughter is not true. Continue.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders.
You get that? Keep going.
Of the city.
Come on, fast.
18. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. Verse 19. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver.
Now he gets a big fine. He gets chastised, and he has to pay 100 shekels of silver on top of the dowry he's already paid. Keep going.
And give them unto the father of the damsel.
Keep going.
Because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel.
Of what?
Of Israel.
Now, once again, because of Jesus Christ, even if a woman has physically been with a man in the past, she's a new creature in Christ. The same way every man who has unalived someone is a new creature in Christ when he comes into the truth. So now, if your wife comes into the school and she follows all the rules and she has never committed adultery on you. And she has been a changed woman since the time that she came into the truth. She's a virgin in here. And you cannot shame her simply because you hate her. You cannot accuse her of being promiscuous, and you have no proof, you have no reason to say it, but you simply hate your wife. You're going to end up in a council over doing that to that sister because she's our daughter. Everyone understands that. Continue.
And she shall be his wife.
And you're going to stay with her. That's your wife. Hate her or not, she's yours. And now you owe some money. Everybody gets it. Now you skip down. The other part, I'm assuming, is when you found out it's true. Let me just, for time's sake, you find out she is a promiscuous woman. She is one. She's getting killed. She's getting stuck. She's getting unalived. That's what happens. Why? Because there shall be no promiscuous woman of the daughters of Israel. That means that this girl was out having relations with all kinds of men. Her daddy didn't even know. She's out in the streets being a promiscuous woman. She's getting unalived. Everybody gets it. If you do that, then you won't have the society that you live in today. Now, what do you do now? We're in the truth. Let's say you're in the truth and you find out that your wife is on Facebook and Instagram talking to her ex. You find out she went over to his house. You have proof that even though you met your wife in the school, even though she did her 90 days, even though you married her justly, your wife has fallen out the school, and now you thought she was a righteous sister, but you went through her Instagram and she's meeting other men. Well, she's getting kicked out of the UPK. Right. We're not going to speak to your wife again. We're never going to talk to her again. We're going to walk by her on the street and say nothing. She's going to call me. Some woman called me yesterday who committed adultery on one of my brothers in the Midwest 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And of course, she's calling me today, telling me, she said, General, I'm 7 days off for drugs. I didn't even respond. I wouldn't help her. I wouldn't talk to her. I will not help her children that she has with other men. I will do nothing for her at all. And when she was in the truth, I loved her like a daughter. Now she's a corpse because of the law. That's how you keep that law today. If a woman cheats on you and she's in the school, she's getting kicked out of the school, and we won't help her no matter what happens. It won't matter, especially if I'm called about it. Now, if I'm not called about it, maybe you'll find mercy with someone else. If I'm called, she gets no mercy at all. Everyone understands. With that, pass the class over to I.S.U.P.K, correct? Officer I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are I.S.U.P.K, so one website,